This week's film talks about the movement of Tropicalia. It's a movement that sprung in the late 1960s and included a lot of music, art, and literature. And it celebrated Brazilian culture as well as its people. But more than this, the documentary relates to Tropicalia as a protest movement against the oppressive military government at the time. Many great musicians are alluded in this documentary, including Gilberto Gil and Caetano Veloso, who led the movement. The documentary can be connected to our reading by Christopher Dunn, when it states that Tropicalia may be understood as a cultural sensibility related to the political and existential crisis of left-wing urban artists. There is a section in the documentary when Caetano is stating that the movement, since at some point is no longer existing, Caetano and Gilberto Gil, they don't consider the music in their relation to Tropicalia per se. There is also mention in the documentary about the song by Caetano Veloso, Alegría, Alegría, which I was also able to connect to the lecture. The lecture, I learned that the song was very much cheered upon the audience, and the song itself could be expressed as Caetano's distancing from bossa nova. It was also seen as a challenge to the political status quo, since it talked about joy over a conservative questry. And lastly, what I found interesting while watching this documentary was the fact that Tropicalia, in its beginnings, was actually a movement in which students and journalists were against stuff because it demonstrated a sort of angry stigma to it. And there was almost like a goal of wanting to tear Gilberto Gil and Caetano Veloso apart.